It's hey folks, we are getting ready, and tonight we're drawing our daughter Rowan, and we are talking with Tim on the phone, who's going to check positioning, and we're going to. Okay, yeah, it's just showing us right now that it's. Actually, okay, what I'm going to do is move your chair, the whole chair this way. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have you move it a little more. I'm just going to scoot this way. Tim, can you see? Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's live on mine. Let me share it to Tuesday at 7 and to yours as well. Here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we're gonna get online here and load things up.
You want me to share it?
Yeah. Yeah, Beth, if you could share it to Tuesday at 7.
Yeah, I can see her. She looks good. That top looks fabulous. He's gonna say to take the camera closer to her.
Yep. Yeah, Beth is sharing right now to Tuesday at 7. Is that where you're at? All right. All right. It's funny how different it looks on the computer than from the phone. So I'm going to move up a little bit. Get closer. All right. Yeah, you're delayed a little bit, so I'm going to. Hi, folks, as you're joining on, Lauren, Jeremy, we're loading up. So a little bit closer. Yep. All right. So give me a look because you're delayed by a minute, and what I just did is gonna catch up. Welcome, folks. We've got a lot of folks jumping in. We're getting ready for a Friday night portrait. We're on the phone with Tim, who's giving us some direction on sitting of our model. A little bit closer. Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
I'm gonna tape it to here. That's fine.
Yep. Yeah, she's got water right here on the floor. We got folks that are jumping in. We're just getting ready to set up.
Thanks.
I know.
Her cord was showing. That's a classic I love you mom look. Immortalized for all time.
For
All
eternity.
right, folks that are joining, we're setting up the camera here. We're on the phone with Tim. We've already have 20 people live, probably sitting in their studios or their spaces, their creative spaces, and getting ready. We're just getting ready to place our model. Tim, I'm seeing, how does it, is that it? Now, the only thing that we're going to see is as the sun goes down, that reflection on our glasses is going to disappear. So, yep. Sounds good. All right. Well, what we're gonna do is we'll wait till straight up at 7:30, and which is another 2 to 3 minutes, and we'll start the clock. Okay. So you got a minute to relax here, Caitlin. All right, Tim. We're gonna hang up. Feel free to call on Beth's phone here because mine's on the tripod. Okay. Sure. All right. Bye. All right, folks. Welcome to Friday Night Portraits. This is on the Tuesday at 7 channel, but actually we're partnering with Tim Herron and Pretentious Cleveland portrait artists. We're gonna start the timer at 7:30 sharp, and we're gonna take comments. Both Beth and I are both on laptops behind here, and our daughter Rowan is here partnering for the evening, and she gets to relax here in her left ear that you can't see. She's chilling out to a podcast or something here, and so if you see her head bobbing, maybe there's a good beat or something.
There's no music.
No music. All right. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do is let me tape your feet.
Oh, sure.
Just put them where it feels comfortable, and folks, if you feel that you have a friend or a group that would benefit from sharing this, there's a share button there, and you could share to an individual or you could share to a group. It's completely up to you, but that'll provide them that same opportunity that we have to draw. We're going to do 4 30-minute sessions, and you'll have the full 2 hours, but we're going to take a break in between each session of about 15 minutes, because that's what Tim and the portrait artists have been doing for over 14 years. I think it's not quite 15, but it's over 14. So they've had a incredible long run with this portrait, and as soon as this locked down because the COVID-19 virus hit, we didn't want to stop that, and so we just took our Tuesday at 7 and plugged it in here for the portrait drawing. You may see that things shake just a little bit because I'm plugging in my power, because last week we died with 55 seconds left in our timer, so everybody got their drawing in. We have 31 people live, so there's a lot of folks jumping in. The good part about these videos is you also get the opportunity to go back to them. You can share them, and we also upload them to YouTube. But Caitlin, are you ready?
I'm good.
All right, at 7:30, we're going to set the timer for 30 minutes, and we'll be talking as well. But Caitlin will sit still for you. Thanks, guys.
All right, I'm setting the timer now. I did not have it ready.
Are you setting it there?
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, our first 30 minutes is ready to go, and we get to do portraits of our daughter, which is so exciting.
We are monitoring the Tuesday at 7 Facebook page. So if folks are, we're going to be jumping back and forth, but if you enjoy kind of that dialogue, if you go to TUES @7, you can jump in there and take a look and be part of that chat. Or otherwise, we're going to kind of go in and out of the other Facebook pages as well. And I think we're going to go ahead and draw.
So I'm trying to help someone who doesn't have a Facebook account. And we're hoping, I know we talked about the light, that unfortunately it's just going to change as we've got longer light in the evenings. So
you have some sunshine coming in at Caitlin's face, so that'll shift just a little bit. But I think we're in a pretty good spot. We've had a lot of artists joining in of all different skill levels. And one of the things that we've really enjoyed is artists sharing pictures of their creative space or studios,
Yes.
where they're drawing from. We always like if people if they're drinking something creative, we'd like you to fill us in on that. It's Friday night, and we kind of want to make this as social as we can, even though we're all in different spaces. And I'm gonna shut up right now, and I'm gonna
You're gonna shut up?
for a little bit, a few
Feels
seconds.
like a drastic. This is our oldest child, so we figure we can just take advantage of the fact that we have 4 kids and 2 nephews, and we can just force them to sit and be models in the middle of this. Although I know that part of, I shouldn't say I know, I'm assuming that part of the portrait group has to be having the different ages and the different just genetic makeup of the models that you probably have had throughout the years, and how that impacts your artwork. Yeah, this is definitely a Facebook live stream, Jesse. So it wouldn't be posted publicly like on YouTube until it's over. So if someone doesn't have a Facebook account, I don't know how to have them access it.
Yeah. They could draw one of our Facebook videos, so they won't be drawing Caitlin, but they could draw one of the videos we have posted out there.
That's true. Although all the rest of the Tuesday at 7 videos, as well as the last 2 collaborations on Friday night with the Pretentious Cleveland portrait artists, are on YouTube. So if you wanted to be able to go back to the last 2, you could certainly do that. At this point, it's strictly through Facebook live stream. It's not a live cast that just gets posted to Facebook.
If you are jumping into YouTube to draw the videos we had last week, you would go to TUES
At 7.
at 7, and you could go ahead and take a look at that. We'll post this draw session as well, usually within 2 to 3 days, and so those folks that have an easier time searching through YouTube can do so. If you go to your search bar, you could put the TUES, the @ sign at 7, and search all of our videos. We had a few folks ask about that name, and the reason why this creative group is named the TUES at 7 is because we have a live stream, and for the last several years we've been streaming, sometimes for a month or 2 at a time. Sometimes we'd have a longer series, but in the last 7 or 8 months we've been streaming every Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And the way that we connected with Tim and the portrait artists is that we interviewed Tim and had a chance to find out what he's been doing, and a group of phenomenal artists have been doing for over 14 years, drawing each and every night for 500, 600, 700 times. Some of these folks, they only missed a few times in the last 14 years, and so when this virus hit, we decided to combine forces and provide this digital draw.
And it's
option.
working way better than we even thought it was going to. It's very exciting.
We've had some folks joining in from around the United States. We had Washington State, we had Colorado, we had Carol, who joined us from Singapore last week, and I think she has some other friends. What Carol does, and what some of her friends have been doing, is they use soft brushes and eyeshadows,
which is amazing.
And it has such it feels like airbrush. It's so soft, and
do they spray the paper first?
I don't know. Well, maybe Carol, if she's not joining us live, she'll join in. I don't know what time it is in Singapore, but
yeah, Jesse, let me check that and see if we can change the permissions. The Tuesday at 7 group is public. We don't have anything. He's trying to get it to another group, to get them a public link.
Go to our page, Roger Miller or Tim Herron, and share it from there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Jesse, Roger's, and Tim Herron's Facebook pages are all public. Does that work better than the Tuesday at 7 group? And yeah, let us know that you can see everything all right. I know there's a little bit of lag between any changes that we may make here and what you see, but keep us posted.
If you are not wanting to see comments, you can turn off comments. I think if you are watching this in landscape as opposed to portrait, I think if it's a landscape, you end up kind of pushing the comments off the page. And if you don't feel like hearing my gravelly voice and Beth's sweet voice, you could turn your sound off as well.
And we normally would have music playing, but Facebook with the music on it, and I don't know exactly how it works. They do checks to see if it's copyrighted. So I think even if we had like just classical music in the background, I don't know if the algorithm just picks it up and does a check and potentially could do something to it. So that's why you don't hear any music from our end. We will not take it personally if you have music in the background and turn us off. So
YouTube actually is really strict about music, way more strict than Facebook.
It's so weird.
I know that some of the Tuesday at 7 family has joined over and is taking up drawing here on Friday nights. This last Tuesday we interviewed Neil Zaza. He is a guitarist from Macedonia, from the Akron area, and he's renowned for his melodic guitar. Melodic rock, kind of heavy metal, and we did a touch base with him. He was returned from his European tour, and as he was launching his American portion of the tour out on the West Coast, this virus canceled it, and so we had a chance to grab him this past Tuesday and talk about what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. It was really nice to catch up with him and then do a watch party of the interview afterward too, or at least part of it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if you decide to go back and catch that and share, we've got a CD and a backstage lanyard from his 2019 that we'll be giving away. We'll be drawing that out this coming Tuesday. We've given away a whole lot of cool stuff. So if you guys are if you guys just like to kind of see what's going on creatively here in Northeast Ohio, and less so, but at times in other parts of the country, then join us on Tuesdays at 7.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cool stuff there, and even if you're just bored one night during lockdown, you could go and check the library of videos out. There's a lot of really talented people here, including the interview with Tim Herron.
Yes. He interviews very well. Like Jennifer New Year came on and asked if there were any good spots left to sit.
This is, well, you know what? You'll have to kind of find yourself a spot in the way back. And, but it's kind of funny because from what I understand, I have not been there live,
Yet.
is that sometimes there's so many people that you have to sit third row behind the model, and so you don't get a front row spot like we do digitally here. Obviously digitally is not the same as
Yeah.
in plain air.
But this'll work for now.
Yeah. 48 people live, if you guys are watching. A lot of people drawing. Thank you for sharing, Jess. Jess Adenich and Jesse Smith both shared. Thank you for doing so. We've got folks joining in, a lot of people drawing, and probably just kind of, I don't know, everybody has, I think, a slightly different strategy to get started. If you feel like sharing in process, maybe after each 30-minute session. Thank you for the like, Joseph Pollock. And Debbie, I see that you're started a watch party. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, cool.
We're up to over 50 people live here drawing, and so we're excited. Thanks, Henry. Sydney, our
There she
Miss
is.
Sydney. Glad you joined us, sweetheart.
You're doing really well. We only have, let's see, just under 15 minutes left in this first session. Sydney says you're being super still.
over halfway done with our first sitting.
Mhm.
I see that Neil Zaza is here.
Neil, are you drawing? Or are you gonna? You could compose some music to draw by. I kind of like that. He could sit and watch the live model and decide
You
what
got
one
one?
would do portrait to melodic rock guitar. I kind of like that.
I was thinking
That'd
of
be pretty
popping
fun.
in the One Dark Night CD, but I think we'd get red flag.
I know, and we'd be able to back it up that we have permission.
But
it
we'd
would
be on
probably
lockdown for a
take-
bit.
Yeah, it would take a while. Janet posted her. She's got Rowan on, looks like an iPad, and she's sketching her out and getting ready for her watercolor. It looks lovely, of course.
Are you looking at comments from other pages as well?
Trying to. It is kind of confusing keeping track because some are on your page, some are on Tuesday at 7, some are on Tim's page. I don't know.
And we can
As
run
the
my
more
page.
we do this, the more we'll be able to kind of figure out how that works. I think this is on. Neil says do it. We don't want to get shut down. We wouldn't mind doing it, but I don't know what Facebook, how long it would take. I don't know.
You know what?
Zach is on here. I see he liked the post. Hopefully, Zach, we'd love to see if you're doing some portrait or some kind of work of Rowan here.
Zach is a gallerist and a unique
Mhm.
artist. We interviewed him as well.
It was a great interview.
Jerky McJerkinson is his Facebook moniker. You guys, some of you are his friends on Facebook, I'm sure.
Somebody's future father-in-law says he would so totally laugh having to try and sit there and be so still.
We are less than 10 minutes in our first sitting.
Izzy.
Izzy's with us. Izzy, you're quite an artist. We hope that you're grabbing out your materials and drawing away. Maybe your
Sketching your
father
tree.
can join us.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, he'd be a great one to share too.
Yeah, I would.
have a house full of people here, and if you've joined us the last couple of weeks, you know it gets louder as the night goes on. Hey, Billy Butcher. If you're gonna hang out with us, we'd love for you to join in.
Yeah. We have about 7.5 minutes left in this first session.
Our friend Billy is a tattoo artist, phenomenal illustrator, special effects makeup artist as well, and he does some great painting and other work. We'd love for you to join in and draw along with us. Our wine refrigerator is really loud.
It is.
If you guys are hearing like that,
Yeah, that's our wine refrigerator. I don't know. Got it from my brother John. I don't know if he's on. Sometimes he watches. Like, dude, this is the loudest wine fridge ever.
Arthur Fun's really. It stopped.
As long as it doesn't ruin my wine, because it gets angry at you for.
It stopped.
I don't know. I'll have to remember that. No. I'm just angry.
I think it just needs a little persuasion.
As a newbie sketcher, it's really hard. I should probably stop talking and reading comments because I do not have the skill level yet to effectively do this. But I absolutely love seeing I wine at room temperature. Very nice. So we're going along. Today is Friday, April 3rd in 2020. We're on our third week of collaborating with the Tim Heron and his Cleveland portrait artists, the Pretentious Cleveland portrait artists, to help them be able to continue their tradition of their 7:30 portrait setting, but also to kind of expand out the Tuesday at 7 artists. It's been just an absolute privilege to see the artwork that comes out of the Cleveland portrait artists, but also to expand this out to the artists that we had been doing interviews with or were members of our group, and to just see so much of the amazing styles and skills that exist within this community here in Northeast Ohio. And this is kind of fun because Rowan is an excellent artist herself, and so it's nice of her to be the model instead of the artiste on this.
winding down to just a few minutes left in our first sitting. I'm going to take a break.
Just under 3 minutes. Just got really pixelated.
It'll clear up if you guys are pixelated out there.
Yeah,
We got so many people joining.
I know.
We'll make sure our kids aren't taking up the bandwidth.
I know, they might have to read a book for a moment or two for the evening while we do this. The trauma.
Martin, this does feel like a Warhol movie. My eyes are open because didn't he have like sleeping? Weren't most of those movies with people sleeping
I did not.
for like 8 hours? You sit down and watch somebody
I
sleep,
don't know.
watch them through the REM stages and such.
I don't know as much about Warhol.
Gene?
The pop art was not my.
Gene, thank you for coming. This is a great way to spend an evening. We've just discovered this last 3 weeks, and Charlotte, this is Rowan. This is our daughter, our oldest daughter. Beth may have already commented to that.
No, I didn't comment to that one. Thank you for saying she's beautiful, because she is.
I snuck out to grab pretzels instead of crunching in the microphone.
So we're fortunate we've got 4 kids, and you realize that it's something you don't necessarily want to be proud of, but they're all gorgeous.
Oh, did you see Steve?
And I am proud of it.
Did you see that Steve just joined? Sentence. Thank you, Steve, for dropping off that art. It was in our garage. Phenomenal.
Gorgeous.
Whoa, great artwork. You know what that means? Time for a break. How do you feel?
I like went to a different plane of existence for a bit.
Well, that's good. It worked.
I-
You're being very still.
I said that last week. I said I kind of felt
Yeah.
like I was kind of in a out of body experience.
My
You just
vision went like sepia toned the entire time.
yeah.
Well, that's good. Make sure you have your arms in the same position and everything.
Yeah.
I had trouble with that. I felt kind of bad because by my 4th sitting, I was not in the same spot.
Yeah. If you want to get up and move, feel free. Beth, you want to
Yeah.
sit down and
Sure.
talk a little?
I'll fill in the gap.
I've been sitting for like 3 weeks straight. I can sit for another 3 30-minute sessions. Ugh.
So it's 8:15. We'll get started back again. So again, if you need to get up and at least just stretch.
Yeah. Your mom will sit down and talk for a little bit. I'll sit down in a second.
Oh, I actually do want to actually drink some of my coffee.
Mhm.
Oh
Maybe
yes,
still
definitely warm it up if we need to. Oh wait, the timer started again. Hang on a second. I'm not sure how I did that. Okay, there we go.
Looks like so. Beth will jump behind the camera here for.
Hello. I hate having the wall be blank. I hope you all had a good day today. Got some sunshine and some fresh air. It looks like we're starting to creep toward spring, although I keep telling myself that it's April in Ohio and not to get my hopes up about consistency. So I got out and took a walk today, and the daffodils are going. I'm totally jealous because Caitlin and I both started, or Rowan and I both started seeds, and hers are already sprouting, and
like
mine
3
are.
of the 22 that I have.
I know, but still, I have no baby plants yet. I was late starting my seeds. I should have started them a few weeks ago, but so hopefully, because we have a garden and we want to grow some veggies. Although it was interesting with all of this pandemic, I follow a seed company, and they said that all their orders are back ordered because with this pandemic and everything going on, everybody is apparently ordering seeds and going back to nature, and I think that's a great response to all this kind of stuff. And we have friends, although they already had chickens, but now they have more chickens. We got to meet them by video date last night, which was fun.
So we got a few folks asking questions. Charlotte, you had asked what is our model's name. This is our daughter, Rowan.
Rowan Henderson. She's on Facebook. She should be tagged in the
Yeah, she's
posts.
tagged on. Yeah, she's tagged in the posts.
So
She's an incredible artist, so she would probably at some point going to go in and do a self-portrait. Maybe.
yeah. And then you could post it to Tim, and then he'll put it in the album with all of these too.
Sure.
So Roger and I both did it to varying degrees.
Your cousin Sydney, our niece, said this is actually super fun,
Told
and
ya.
is saying she can't wait for summertime. Sydney, we can't wait for summertime either.
Yes.
So what else we got? Charlotte Wells said, and where will you get your haircut? Again, once all this lockdown is over.
Black Cat Barbershop. They're out in Cleveland on 52nd Street, and I get my haircut by Nicolette. She's incredible. It's this super fun little kind of punk atmosphere barbershop. Absolutely love it there, and I really hope that my hair isn't a complete mess by the time I get back to her.
It'll be fun.
We'll see what happens.
We have a barber chair downstairs in case you need a.
That's true.
That's true.
Roger can
Give me a
fill
touch
in,
up.
fill in the gaps. We do have a barber chair in our basement, and that's initially had more to do with the fact that we do special effects makeup, and in addition, Roger cuts the hair for all the men in our family, so we save large amounts of, our sons and nephews, not the brothers and the fathers and the uncles. But
Although
we
they
save a
might
lot
be
of
showing
money at
up here.
barbershop. I know, everybody may be showing up for social distance barbering.
Maybe we can finally
For
get
our
all the bark
basement.
out of the house for once.
I know, right? That'd be exciting.
We do face casts in that
We do
barber
face
chair.
casts and that.
Life
because,
casts?
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier because once that stuff is on your face and it's hardening, it starts getting really heavy, and then your head leans back. Much like in portrait sitting, you have a tendency to, after so many sessions, the chin goes up or down. But
We hope that as folks have a break, maybe they'll find an opportunity to post an in-process photo or a photo of their space, their creative space or studio, or just wherever they're drawing. Actually, did you take some? Oh, my camera's on the tripod, but
oh no,
to see
I'll take
this,
some.
to
Yep.
see how this looks is really cool.
I took one, but I don't think the lights were on. Oh, and if you have any animals, I know Steve posted a photo with his cat invading his space. But if you have any animals who are assisting in your artwork, please feel free to post those.
Susan
Ours is
has
sleeping.
a poodle,
Oh,
10-year-old male poodle. He's a, I think it's a red poodle.
oh,
And she always talks about her assistant.
oh! That's the one that she did share a photo of him. He looked even smaller than Bowie because he was in a basket
He's bigger.
on her desk. Oh, is he bigger?
He's bigger, but that's still
Love
a
our
little one.
poodles.
Yeah.
I never in a million years, when I was young growing up, I was terrorized by our neighbor's very, very old, crotchety, gray, angry poodle, and never in a million years would have thought I would have wanted poodles. But I married into a poodle family and can't resist them now. I absolutely adore them. We used to have a standard poodle as well as our tiny little Bowie, who we have now, and so we're definitely the poodle family. What time is it?
It is 8:07.
Oh, we still have plenty of time for
Yeah.
chatter and yammering away at people.
we've got consistently, because people just kind of stop in and check things out and watch. I think a couple people last week were like, we're bored, we're just gonna watch a person sit
See
and
what
listen
you're
to
up to.
listen to see you guys what you're talking about.
I like it.
Yeah, Susan just came back and said poodles rock.
They do.
We've
do.
had standards, we've had little. Bowie is not our smallest at 5 to 6 pounds ish. I had a smaller one growing
that's
up,
right.
but it was a small toy. I've never had a teacup.
No, teacup
Little.
feels unnecessary to me. I don't know. It would make me nervous. I'd be afraid I'd step on it.
They are a
sit
bit
on
of a
it.
biology nightmare.
Oh, Jane
Well,
just
that
posted
also.
a picture of her teacup poodle in her teacup
Is it for real?
right here.
What do you do? Like,
I'm just joking.
oh, well, I was just gonna say. I mean, how do you take it for a walk? I'd be afraid like I'd accidentally step on it when it was outside going to the bathroom.
We still worry about that with Bowie.
Well, that too. But
Although a few weeks there was not a poodle in a teacup, there was beer in a teacup.
oh yes, that was Grace. She
Yeah.
had her beer in her teacup, which I think was fabulous, and I'll have to remember that. If I have to drink beer, I'd rather do it in a teacup. So, but if anybody's had any interesting adventures in the way that they're entertaining themselves during the shutdown, what's gas at? What's the lowest?
I've seen
Is it
it
still-
at like 149 on my way here right now.
Oh, that's not very low. I know we saw 99 cents somewhere.
Somebody posted at 99 cents. I think it was John Walsh who posted
Yes, in
somewhere
Lakewood.
down on the west side, near
Yeah,
west side of
I
Cleveland.
think it was Detroit-ish area. It was 99 cents, and then I think Luke has that app,
Gas
something,
Gas Buddy,
and it was 88
gas.
cents somewhere. Which I don't know exactly where in Ohio, but it was 88 cents a gallon. And we haven't. This week's been kind of tame. We did our Tuesday at 7 interview with Neil Zaza, which was catching up with Neil because he was Roger's first interview, and so did kind of a catch up with Neil on video, and then did a watch party with his first interview to just kind of catch up and see what's going on for the rest of the year. And he's got some exciting stuff with his rock guitar rendition that's Nutcracker inspired. It's Revenge of the Rat King, and he's working hard on that. And
we were
sorry,
supposed to
my
announce it. That was
messages.
only for the Tuesday.
What?
That was top secret.
No, it wasn't. I don't think so. Tuesday at 7's a pretty large group. I don't think that was the top secret.
We'll
part.
find out when
Sorry,
we get a
Neil.
phone call from Neil later.
I
And he's gonna be
know.
like, "What are you doing?"
Live
Revealing my
TV.
secret.
Live.
No, there was something else that was.
No, it wasn't top secret, but it is a special benefit for being a member of Tuesday at 7 is you get inside
That's true.
information.
And that will hopefully be out in December of this year. He's hard at work, and that's one thing for him, and maybe it's for some other creatives too, that kind of being at home has forced him to just truly focus in and compose and arrange, and he's really been thriving in this opportunity, so that's been good. How are we doing on time?
Got a few minutes, about 4 minutes, so people can grab their Cheetos.
I love some Cheetos.
Grab their Cheetos and their Kool-Aid or beverage of choice.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie, she posts under Jim Karras.
Oh yeah.
Debbie posted because she's a newer portrait artist. She and her family have a huge musical background.
Oh, cool.
And she is taking 3 free months of ukulele lessons
Nice.
through Fender.
Oh wow.
They also offer 3 months of free guitar lessons.
That's cool.
So, Debbie, if you have a link or something
Oh, and you post
and can
that.
post that, that'd be cool because if we're in lockdown,
Might as well learn
might as
something.
well, learn the ukulele.
That's cool.
Or guitar.
3 months worth of ukulele. You're gonna get really good at that
Go to, she said go to fender.com.
and just.
I guess it would make sense as to how to click in there for your free lessons.
That's great. Huh. We've been saying, I just posted a link that they're doing, I think Nikon is doing free photography lessons. I don't know how many. I think it was Nikon. And I saw somebody else. And of course, I'm fascinated. Everybody's been doing free fitness classes and yoga and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of free audiobooks and stuff too.
I'm gonna sit down.
Where's the chin? And
Get back.
Beth, yeah, if you can get back, put your feet down, and try to figure out. Well, last week, what I did wrong on my third sitting is I scooted my butt forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that. So as soon as she's up, do you want to give Tim a quick call just to see if he's got that?
I swallowed wrong. Sorry.
Here in Ohio, the sun has just gone down, so there may be a slight change. Actually, I kind of like how it looks now.
Looks.
Oh,
there he is. Hello. Hi. What? Oh, that's weird. Can you scroll? Yeah, if you go to Roger's page or scroll down to Tuesday at 7 and click back in. Huh. Okay. Okay, how does she look?
Stricter pose.
Remember, there's a little bit of a lag.
She's gonna move and then she's gonna reset.
She looks good. No need to move. All right. Cool. Thank you. All right. Have fun. Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, we're 15 seconds from 8:15. We're gonna start our second 30-minute pose. Timer set.
Yep.
Thank you guys for sharing your comments. Oh, Debbie shared the the Nikon event about the school online school private photography. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, there's Tim again. Hello. The light in her glasses. Are you talking about in the upper left-hand corner? Yeah, I can move that. Yep. Yeah, I'll make that a little bit higher. Yep, thank you. Alright, bye-bye. There was a little bit of a ring in the left corner. Just up.
Well, what I would do is have Caitlin turn slightly.
Not too much.
That might be about right because we have a lag here.
I don't know if she turns too much, that may mess up where everybody started their sketches.
Hold that, Caitlin. Because what ends up happening is if we adjust, we want to adjust the model, not the...
Right, let us know if that was too much of a shift for everybody, but the light is definitely off her lenses, so that's good. Alright, Rowan. Oh yeah, it says half an inch to the right. Glasses seem like they're too high now. Oh, can you, yeah, scoot your glasses down a little bit. Yeah, I bet that's perfect.
Thank you guys for your observations.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Again, not having any experience with this, how. Hello? Okay. Alright, sounds good. Well, let me do that. Scoot your head just a teeny bit back to your right. Let's see.
Bring that this way if you need to. Not back. This I don't mean back. I mean this way a bit. Just get it away out of her glasses. Hopefully it's.
Is that good?
Yeah, I mean it's lagged here.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yep, this looks great.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, it's just it's fascinating to me because it's totally logical how a light shift or you know, the glasses being up a little bit higher or down lower would be so could make such a big difference to the work that you're on. But if I had to think about that beforehand, it wouldn't have, that many things wouldn't have registered to me so much. She's got her earbud in. I'm just moving the cord. Sorry, I yanked it out of your ear. Hopefully that works too. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate it. Whew. I think Roger went to get a snack. I am doing my best. Last time when I did a sketch, it was very small. I'm only working, this is probably, I don't know if it's 8.5 by 11 size paper. And again, because I'm just kind of learning how to do this, it's not, you know, the big pieces that the majority of you end up drawing, and I'm trying to go a little bit bigger each time I try. Which is also an interesting shift for me. Just ebony pencil. Hello? Turn your head just a little bit to your right. Is that better?
If the glasses aren't right, we can move the ring light.
I don't think it's about the glasses this time. Is that better? Oh. Wow, that's more of a delay than I realized. Okay, so you just want like just a hair back to the left, just like, there you go. Okay. She moved it just like the millimeter back to her left. Cool. Okay, thanks, Tim. Cool. All right. So we are just over 20 minutes left in this third session. Got Caitlin here being a fabulous model.
Look at
Susan's
Oh,
little man assistant is right up on her desk.
that's so cute. I wonder if Bowie would do that. We'd have to put a blanket up there for him because he's
He'd like our face.
Farfel. That's
Beautiful.
amazing. I love that
Oh,
name.
cool. Get a picture of her drawing too.
Oh. Wow. Beautiful.
Thank you, Susan, for sharing your space, your beginning photo or your
Yeah.
beginning artwork,
Poodle.
and your little man joining you. He's handsome. I also see that Susan has some beverage. It looks like it's in a painted wine glass.
Very nice. Sorry, dear. I need an eraser. Do you have one?
I don't, but I can grab one for you.
I'll grab it.
Let me go.
Roger's the anti-eraser.
I'm not anti-eraser. I do not practice erasing until the end,
Yes.
or unless
Mid-process.
you may be using it as a tool, like a blending tool or something. Otherwise,
No, I'm truly erasing. 'cause
while you're
this
truly
is-
erasing, don't put in the wrong line again. I had a
This is not
teacher that
erasing.
said to find your right line before you erase. A lot of folks will erase a wrong line and draw another wrong line in. I usually just leave them in. I rarely even erase them. But again, I do a lot of my darker darks and Sharpie, and I get a little crazy there.
Susan says she met her students that are on hiatus for happy hour earlier, and they instructed her to bring an artistic drink.
Oh.
I like it. I'm gonna have to go get a good eraser from downstairs. This totally
I'll grab one
smudged.
because I know where they're at.
Okay. No, she has a big old smudge across the middle of her face. I will trust your better awareness. We totally ran out of pop, so I'm drinking whiskey with root beer, which is actually way better than I thought it was going to be.
I brought this up, but I am a fan of the kneaded eraser.
It's a silly putty eraser.
There's some artists that use that kneaded eraser as a blending tool.
Someone was talking about doing that last week
Yeah.
too, which totally makes sense once you get to that level. Right now, I just need this to go away.
Last week we talked about a few things that I learned along the way, and then we had some other artists add some pointers. We have a lot of talent here, and so those who can add a little bit of advice or sage wisdom, we appreciate that. We had talked about lighter lights and darker darks. Lighter lights and darker darks, and so as we take a look at some of this magnificent artwork that we've received, you see some people going really dark, some really dark charcoal, and then they're even getting highlights with a white Connie crayon or a white charcoal of some sort. Lighter lights and darker darks. We also talked about variation of line. I had a instructor in the early days. We were drawing spheres and cones and cylinders, and that teacher, she talked about if we were drawing a sphere, we might go really heavy as we went back into space, and as we were coming forward, we would lighten it up to the point where the line would almost disappear, and as we would wrap around that sphere, we'd get heavy on the bottom and really dark on the back to the point where our line at the far back was thick and beefy, but as you came, it became really light. And that a variation of line, if you're thinking about that, it just naturally creates that variation of line. Tim shared that, no, it wasn't Tim, it was another artist. Forgive me because I don't remember. We have so many folks joining in. Said that when you're, actually I think he gave a bit of advice to Debbie's drawing, and that was that the eyes, I guess if you're looking at somebody straight on, the eyes are one eye apart. Generally speaking, the eyes are one eye apart.
Mm-hmm. I do remember him saying that. Yep.
And I think Tim had mentioned that if you're looking at kind of proportioning out the face and the head, that the eyes, if you're looking straight on, would be somewhere around halfway mark between chin and top of head. Is that what he said?
Was that halfway or
Halfway or
third?
2/3? We'll need somebody to provide us that update,
I don't.
because we have a lot of folks who teach, and
Well, it doesn't help me with you because your beard is definitely not. I don't know where your chin is anymore.
it's there.
Looks like the connection's getting a little funky for a minute.
It usually corrects itself. Facebook doesn't have a great definition, so as you guys are drawing, stick with us as that corrects. Looks like we're back
Oh yeah.
back corrected here. David King elevated tonight.
Oh, very nice.
With a wink. I like tequila. John is ready to turn his water into wine.
saw
You see that?
Yep. Not opposed.
Mm-hmm. Maybe drinking a fancy painted wine glass like Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. John, I don't know if you're drinking out of a fancy wine glass like Susan. You might have to post your wine glass. mason jar. That's what I drink wine out of.
Oh, nice. David King says the model is doing a great job. I thought my camera froze for a second, but then I saw her blinking. So, good work.
If you were watching me last week, you knew it was live because I was a blink.
That was hard. That's hard. Once all of a sudden,
Like blink, 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 blink,
yeah,
blink, blink,
then
blink.
the eyes go crazy.
I was sitting the other direction last week, and I could see the ring lights reflecting in my glasses. So I was trying to look beyond
Not.
at a point of contact, but the reflection on my lenses made me feel a little wonky. Hi Deb, Cheryl, good to see you there.
Hey, very cool.
Hoping you can join and use your mad art skills, Deb, to create a likeness.
I'm gonna sketch tomorrow,
Tonight.
later tonight.
I'm not sketching right now because I work so big.
That's true.
I work so big. Bigger than my own face. I work on a giant draw board, 24 by 36 sheet of paper. I get really big and I need a lot of room. And we're here in our dining room. And I've got the laptop in front of me and I don't have enough room. I need some elbow room to draw. So I'm gonna draw after we're done here. I'm gonna grab the same items I've been drawing with the last few weeks. I draw with it. Right now I'm drawing with an ebony pencil. Not right now, but the last few weeks I've been drawing with an ebony pencil. I then use that ebony pencil to kind of get my light and my lines in. Again, if you've seen my style, I've had four people say Egon Schiele.
Who you had to look up.
I had to look
right?
up. I mean,
Had you heard of it? But not,
never. And shame on
Which
me.
is cool.
I mean, I probably skipped that week at Kent State in art history because certainly enjoy and read about Klimt, but never got to Schiele. And I actually like Schiele better than I like Klimt. Now that I've kind of went in and took a look at his style, we certainly have a feel.
Kara, we're on our second half-hour session, and there are going to be 2 more half-hour sessions. We're actually probably just about done with this first one, and then we'll have 2 more live half-hour sessions with 15-minute breaks in between each one. But these live streams will still be accessible, so if you want to start now in the first 2 half-hour session, or the last 2 half-hour sessions, and then you'll be able to pull the video up either through this the Tuesday at 7 Facebook group, or through Roger's Facebook page, or my Facebook page, or Tim Heron's Facebook page. But if you want to at least get it started now, and then you'll be able to access it as long as you need to afterward.
If you are new to this portrait drawing session, we ask that folks send an image. I guess you could post it here, finished image here, and we can grab it down. And but you could instant message that to Tim Heron Herron. You can message that to his Facebook page. You can email it to manlypad@sbcglobal.net. manlypad@sbcglobal.net. That way you can get a higher resolution probably over to him. And
It is
he
a very
posts
handy
it.
pad.
Yeah, and he posts it to the webpage, and so your art will be part of this ongoing 14 plus years of Friday gatherings, and we'd like to get your work, whether you're a doer or you've been drawing, sketching, painting for decades. We'd love to have a record of your work.
Mhm.
Kara said her work would look like a toddler did it. Well, if that's the case, it may be one of my favorites because I actually love that haptic, quick work. As a matter of fact, I'm a huge fan of blind contour drawing.
Yes.
is like-
Someone did one last week that was very nice.
We had
Yeah.
2 or 3 blind contour submissions over the past few weeks, and I love blind. We had somebody last week, and folks, please excuse me and Beth because the name of the artist who provided it was an offhand blind contour drawing.
I might be able to find it. It was really good, and I think they said that was kind of their warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Was they do the offhand blind contour to get back into the mode. Oh, the next half hour is up.
Well, folks, we're done with the second sitting, and we are.
It was Judy Pester did,
Judy,
did
that's
the
right.
blind contour.
Was that the offhand blind contour? Because
I
that
didn't
may have been
write
the
that
week
down.
before. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe the
but there were a
I
few
don't-
folks that provided those blind contours, and they're wonderful. So.
You should have worn mittens. Your house is so much colder than mine.
It's on
It's 73 degrees.
Yeah, my house is like 75.
Oh goodness.
It's smaller, less to warm.
Oh, Uncle John says Sydney did very well.
Oh,
Post
Sid.
a photo.
Hi, Luke. You're okay, we're on a break.
What are you listening to, Caitlin?
I am listening to a Dungeons and Dragons podcast called The Adventure Zone. And it's just kind of like a mix of comedy and actual like fantasy storytelling and stuff. It's just good background
fun.
noise.
And folks are probably the majority of the time, if Rowan was sitting down in front of you, she'd have a different color in her hair. It's rare to have it your natural color because it's often
So usually red.
usually red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking a break for a bit to actually let my hair be healthy for a little bit so I don't completely destroy it, but you know, you do what you can.
What music are you listening to nowadays?
I've been trying to get into punk more, so like Menzingers, a bit of Celtic rock, some Dropkick Murphys, and then one of my favorite artists, Watsky, just dropped a new album, so I've been listening to that.
And I like the stuff from him that you played for me.
It's good. A little different.
You hear that, Tim Heron? Punk.
Yeah.
I asked him in the interview, I said and I boxed him in a corner. It's so unfair for me to do that. I said, if you only had to choose one artist to listen to, he's like, I listen to too many artists to choose just one. I'm like, but just one. He said, if I had to choose one just today, it'd be the Ramones.
Oh yeah.
Classic Ramones. And then he said, but I couldn't choose just one. And then he went on to the eclectic collection that he has. But I'm a huge Ramones fan as well, amongst other.
Mindy says, hi, pretty lady.
Hi, Mindy. I'm trying not to touch my glasses too much. I'm sorry for moving them. It's so
Oh.
second nature.
Because it.
Do you
just
want to get up
feel
and
it. Yeah.
Debbie? Rowan is. She's asking her age because there's so.
Oh, is there some debate?
Should we, well,
No.
should we have people guess?
Oh God.
All right,
That's
go ahead.
okay.
How old are you?
No, have people guess. It's fun. It's fun for me.
All right, have people guess. You have to guess.
How old is Rowan?
How old is
And
Rowan?
remember that
If you know me, you can't. You're not
She's
allowed.
our oldest daughter, so whatever you guess for her, you're judging me too. So.
Are you saying that if she gets over 30, then that would be?
A little
People will not be
disheartening.
guessing over 30 for me.
No. It'd be a little disheartening for me. I am not old enough to have a child over 30. we'll give you that hint.
And
And I'm old, and I'm engaged. I'll give you that too. I'm old enough to have a fiance.
Yes. And
is
it's-
Jake watching?
And it's Ohio,
I
not
have
West
no
Virginia.
Do you think Jake is he gonna watch?
He said he was gonna.
He wanted
check
to
in.
when I initially told him about it. I was like, you do know it's just gonna be me sitting and like staring into space for 2 hours because Jake is not an artist. My fiance is not an artist. As much as I try to push him to try and do stuff, he doesn't.
He probably
So
could.
I have no idea if he's actually listening in or not. So who knows? I might be able to just talk a bunch of crap about him for a bit.
His dad checked in.
I
don't
know he
if-
did.
I don't know if Dave is still watching, but
He is. He's gonna cause trouble.
We saw we watching the clock. It's at 9 o'clock that we're gonna jump back
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
We watched my friend Steve Banks, Pastor Steve Banks,
Oh yeah.
and he had I think it was a friend drive over, and he came out and he was wearing a box. That was it. A box right around, you know. I mean,
Steve
it was,
was?
yeah,
Oh.
about this, and the box said "Happy Birthday," and so he came out. I mean, he was.
They had a friend drive by. I mean, it was.
It is the
hilarious.
funniest thing, but he is a
Oh,
troublemaker
He is.
in
He's
all
something.
respectful ways.
Aw. Charlotte Wells posted a picture of their dog Iggy. Adorable.
Where are you seeing that?
Susan Avera on the Tuesday at 7 group.
Oh.
Look
Ooh.
at that face. And then Susan posted Herschel and Cooper. So cute. Oh, they're laying together.
Do they stay
Aw.
together or do you just put them together?
I don't know.
They're cute.
They're adorable though.
Do you want to get up?
I'm
I know.
good. I'm
Okay.
okay.
You're good.
She's younger than we are. She can handle it better.
I am curious to see what people are guessing though.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I'll have to go back and see.
Only one guess.
Uncle John says she's not 12.
Thanks, Uncle John. Appreciate it.
Debbie guessed 22.
That's not bad.
Close.
You're close.
It's better than what I've had some of my regulars guess at work. In the before times, back when I was allowed to work.
This is good.
Thank you. That was so genuinely like
So
oh, surprise.
Before I married Beth, I had this staid continence. And now that I'm married to somebody so expressive, it kind of rubs off on me.
Oh.
But with this is, I think, the third. You got her ear the right size.
Yeah, like
our freaky
like this big,
small
right?
genetically ears.
You both have like the exact same size ear.
Yeah, and they're tiny.
They're tiny ears. But this is like the third time that I've ever seen Beth do a portrait, and like she's nailing it.
I'll give it my fair judgment when I'm done. I'm kidding. I'm sure it's wonderful.
It is really good.
She's blocking us out now.
No, Uncle John sent me a picture of Sydney's, so
Aw.
I was.
Thank you, Sid.
This digital, is there a, for the portrait artists, how do people get a front row?
Oh yeah,
Is that
does money have to exchange hands with Tim to get a front row?
I don't know. Tim, you have to share. I think it may be based upon participation years as artists. So like if you've been there for 14 years, you get a front row seat. And if this is your first time, you might be in the second row or the third row, depending upon how many artists are there. Is that Sydney's artwork right there?
It
That's
is.
good, Sydney.
She did a great job.
So if you guys finished your bowl of Cheetos and your Kool-Aid, we're into the next session. We have about 5 more minutes before we sit back down, and so 15 minutes is enough time to probably cause some trouble.
Nancy says front row stuff is secret.
Oh,
Trade secrets.
trade secrets.
I like it.
We will not pry.
Not yet.
We have 40 people still live. 40 people.
So grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you guys for spending your Friday evening with us. We're in lockdown. It's 2020. It is April 3rd, 2020. And if you're from Ohio, and I think many people are from Ohio, we've been kind of inside for about 2 weeks. I've been in for 2 weeks. I think Beth has been in for a little bit longer than that, trying to social distance and quarantine out this COVID-19 virus. I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but we've got a big family, and so we're going to put a different face here. Now, if we're quarantined for like 3 months, I'm gonna have to go down to the special effects makeup studio and put on a fake nose and.
If you give me enough weeks' notice, I can get Jake in here.
Yeah.
He'd probably enjoy sitting and doing nothing for a bit too.
Yeah, we men will sit in a nothing box, really easy for a few hours. Last week I zoned out, and I have a trouble sitting still. Nancy, you need a password.
Password.
Yeah, Nancy says there's a password to get to the front row. Interesting.
Probably changes weekly too.
Yeah, it's like a secret handshake or a knock on the secret knock or something.
Were there any more guesses about how old she is?
Oh, I didn't look. I have a hard time navigating sometimes. More guesses. We have 22. Close, yeah. So for those folks that are joining in, we are getting ready to start at, we're going to 9 sharp. We're going to start the third 30-minute sitting, 3 of 4. And we are joining in with Tim Herron and the Pretentious Cleveland portrait artists. They're not pretentious, by the way, not at all. But that is the tongue-in-cheek moniker for the group. And but we've joined with them. Nothing more than to put our phone on the tripod and turn on some lights and use the same equipment we use for the Tuesday at 7 broadcast. And to press the button, go live, and provide the opportunity to try to draw digitally. And it's been kind of fun. So, and we'll continue to do it for the next few weeks. Hopefully this lockdown will clear out here before too long. We'll put a face in front of you guys. Oh, by the way,
Wait to meet everyone in person though. when these are back to being live again.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It'll be nice to meet folks in person. Both, many of the folks in the Tuesday at 7 group, we have a lot of body painters, we have face painters, we have special effects makeup artists, we have airbrush artists. A lot of them will paint directly on the skin. We have a lot of skin artists, we have tattoo artists, we have filmmakers and glass blowers. We've got musicians. Both we had Mushroom Head. Richard Thomas of Mushroom Head was on. Deb Styler is just quickly changing. Deb Styler just guessed 20.
Oh. Colder.
Getting cold.
24 is the correct answer.
24.
I had a regular. I work at Starbucks, and I had a regular come up to me. She's, nice older lady usually, and I had mentioned my fiance a bit ago, and she looked at me and she's like, "You don't look old enough to have a fiance. You look like you're like 16 to like 18." I was like, "No, Bonnie, I'm 24. Thank you though, appreciate it. Thanks for outing me like this."
All right, let's get you kind of back in a position here.
It's going to be good for you later on. You will be appreciative of it.
How do you feel? Is your butt in the right spot and your arms in the right spot? How does it look? Yeah, we'll do a Tim call
Wait.
since my phone is on the.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
wait till she catches up.
how does your glasses feel in the right spot, Caitlin?
Yeah, I can see her eyebrows,
All right.
so that's good. The position looks good. I'm just going to move the cord again. I'm sure people know to just ignore it,
But it'll bug you.
but a little bit. I mean, I'm supposed to be trying
Just
to look
get
at
some tape.
all the details and everything. I know, but you have hairs. That feels. I don't see the lights in the glasses.
I think we're about right. You wanna, Tim, give us a call if we need a reposition. We're gonna start the timer. 30 minutes. We'll end this third session at 9:30.
Okay. Starting the timer. Alright, timer is started.
We've had a few folks that have just asked to join the Tuesday at 7. I'm approving. We approve all of them.
Yes.
Approve all. So we can continue to increase the Tuesday at 7 creative family. A lot of folks will ask, well, exactly what is Tuesday at 7? Well, besides a live stream that goes out Tuesdays at 7 o'clock, it's really kind of a social experiment. That's what we kind of call it. We press the live button, and for as long as people are interested in hearing about the creative space here in Ohio and elsewhere, we're gonna continue to bring that to you. What we found is that, and this is not news to creatives. I think creatives a lot of times will kind of find their swim lane, and they often remain in that silo for quite some time, and they may miss some of the real creative stuff that's happening 10 miles from them in just a different sphere. And so this is really kind of brought together a community which was very much unexpected. And so we call it a social experiment because we don't really know where it's going. There's really no agenda at this time. And it just continues to gather momentum, and more people join, and we've got artists of all different sorts that are part of this, of all different ages. A lot of the artists have connected and are now working on projects together, which would have been completely unexpected and would have never happened had Tuesday at 7 not kind of brought a few of these artists together. Although we coordinate it, it's really a community. It's the community that exists. We just happen to kind of administer it. Everybody's been quite nice, and we appreciate that. We're just providing some resource, and right now during kind of the lockdown of the COVID-19 virus, a lot of people are kind of turning here and sharing some great stuff to keep we creatives engaged.
Yeah, and it's been amazing to see. I don't know that I would have predicted how instinctively people would be turning to, I'm going to go to the metro parks, or I'm going to take this opportunity to create, or I'm going to take this opportunity to read more books than I have. And I think that this crisis is people are responding in the right way for the most part, and getting back in touch with community and with their passions, and to see all of the artists saying, oh, all right, I'm just gonna jump on my Facebook or jump on a video and make it work has been very inspiring and motivating. I'm greatly enjoying it.
One of my observations during this time is it feels to me, and I'm making some pretty big assumptions here, but assumptions I make, is that folks are finding either this time of like solace and isolation an opportunity to really create. And so there's some people out there that are creating some amazing things, and are just, maybe they're internally motivated, maybe they're always on the treadmill, and they're like, oh, I'm forced to be home, and so I'm going to paint or draw or write music or sculpt or just find this as motivation. And then there's others who are probably really motivated by being around certain environments, and they're finding the isolation to be the opposite, kind of draining and such. And so whether you're one or the other, I think that at least this events like the Friday night portrait drawing is bringing folks together. Give us the opportunity to draw, and in a strange social experiment kind of way is connecting and kind of talking and adding photos and meeting in a strange digital manner.
Yeah.
And hopefully motivating people to pick up a pencil or a paintbrush or their Play-Doh and creating.
And there's still time to create and watch a little Netflix too. Some of us are watching The Tiger King, and I'm not us.
I almost never watch TV, but I did watch episode 1, 2, and part of episode 3 of The Tiger Kings, and
Surprised me.
we have a lot of wonderfully creative friends, and I'm drawn to creative people, and some of the folks on Tiger Kings, some of those are creative people.
Yeah.
They make a life out of keeping these big cats, but it's interesting because they're all going down rabbit holes.
Which also sounds creative.
Yeah, well, I like killing and.
Well, yeah.
But if you've watched it, and I'm not promoting the show by any means, but if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like a circus.
Normally, I'm the one watching some sketchy reality TV, but for some reason, Roger got pulled in this time. Ears are so thus far, your ear looks like you box. Or do MMA, that's not so good. I'm erasing again. Normally I try to follow your tenet about not racing until after, but I made too many lines and I didn't leave any room, like it was too much. Didn't leave room for myself.
I would say that you're drawing pretty small. And so it is hard to find wrong lines and right lines when you're drawing small. I think that's why I draw so big, is because it's kind of a cheat. We have a lot of people kind of just jumping in going like, what the heck is going on here? It's Friday night portrait drawing.
Hey Charlotte, I have not started watching Little Fires Everywhere, but I read the book. Celeste Ng.
It's on Hulu?
It's on Hulu, and Celeste Ng is a local author from Shaker Heights, and the book is based in Shaker Heights. And she's.
Did you read that
I've
book?
read I've read all of her books, and
Beth reads 3 books a day, by the way.
That's not true. But I am probably going to watch that. We don't have Hulu, but I know I can access it through other. I think Caitlin has Hulu. I could use hers. I'm trying to think what else I did watch recently.
You know what I watched recently? 2016 Cavs Game 7.
Oh, did you? A lot of people were watching that again.
Well, I could watch that game all
It was amazing.
over and over and over.
It was so good. Where were you when we finally won a championship? Woohoo! Oh, I could see that. Kerry Washington, yeah. Not the widest range. Yeah, I think there's million little. I'm trying to think. That's something else too. Oh, it's only 8. Well, that's actually, I like that there's only 8 episodes. They didn't try to turn it into something that's not the book. Alright, I'll have to watch that.
Should we give a little teaser to who we hope to have on Tuesday at 7 one of these weeks?
Oh yeah, that's a very good idea.
So, as we've been locked down, we're trying to connect with our friends, so we get out and do a Facebook video, and we just kind of sit screen to screen with couples. And we were on with friends of ours, Dr. Chad Cook and his wife, and his wife Kelly, and we were talking, and Kelly's grandfather is 100 years old, and he's an author, and he is a great storyteller. And he's, as we're sitting back here saying, this is the first time many of us can ever remember a global pandemic. He cast back, although he was not born yet, but he was there at the tail end of the Spanish influenza of 1918.
Yeah, he was born
19.
Yeah, the year. Yeah, that's right.
The year after, but his family, he had to deal with family that had family members who had passed away just before he was born, and so hopefully, and I think we have a pretty good chance of having a centurion guest on Tuesday at 7 to talk not only about his creative journey over the last 100 years, but to compare the pandemic of 1918 to the 2020 pandemic, and to kind of talk about that. We thought it would be an interesting guest, and And because there's no rules with 2018, because it's a social experiment, we're just gonna see if we
Go
can
with it.
sit down remotely. Our biggest challenge is to find to make sure that nobody's taking virus into him,
Yeah.
and that we can set up without having to
And
be
Kelly's
face to face.
grandma has a Facebook account. She's 96. And so we're hoping we'll be able to get in and do a video chat with them on Facebook through
Through a
her
family member,
Facebook
yeah.
account. So, but that'll be, because, you know, he can talk about growing up following the pandemic. He can talk about his experiences. He wrote a book about his experiences during World War II. They're local here and have been living in the same city for decades and decades. So just kind of the changes in Northeast Ohio, and and we've met him before, and he's just a charming, just lovable man.
Yeah.
So that'll be really, really cool if we're able to make this work. And he's 100.
100 years old.
It's amazing.
Anyway, so that cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
But we don't really announce our guest usually until 48 hours prior, so usually Sunday-ish we announce the Tuesday at 7 interview. We do that for many reasons, to keep people on the edge of their seat, but also because we creatives are all over the place. And so sometimes, and we've had a lot of movie makers, filmmakers, musicians, and people of all different creative persuasions have to pick up and leave town for an exhibit or a show or some type of gig. And so sometimes that changes 3-4 days prior to the interview. And we have to, and when we do that, it's such a rich creative community that we plug that spot quickly. But we usually announce that about 48 hours. So this Sunday, you'll find out what the Tuesday at 7 interview, will be. We'll officially announce it. It's not going to be our Centurion this week. That's not this week, but we're going to try to plug that in the next few weeks while we're all here on lockdown.
There's some other.
We're 15 minutes into this session, so we're halfway through third sitting. 15 more minutes before we take our last break. You know who else we had on for a guest?
Maybe.
It's kind of like talk show. You know who's been on the guest, but the people who are listening do not. The Mummy and the Monkey.
Oh, yes.
Have you guys heard of the Mummy and the Monkey? They're the Facebook / YouTube live streaming late night horror show hosts. And it's not exclusively horror, but they've kind of bridged that lineage of Superhost and Big Chuck and Little John, back to Big Chuck and Houlihan, back to the Ghoul, back to Gallardi, and so they're along this kind of lineage to bridge over. They're here from Cleveland, although the audience is all over the world, but they go live, and it's 10 o'clock on Friday, and so typically when I end here, I click into the Mummy and the Monkey and watch their late night horror show. Of course, they put all the gags and laughs and skits in Cleveland fashion. There's a lot of Cleveland humor for those people who like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn that on, and tonight I'll be grabbing my big sheet of paper, my Sharpie, my ebony, and my Conte crayon, and we'll do my big chunky fat Egon Schiele-esque drawing.
Maybe Egon's stuff looks like yours.
That's what I thought. But he's been
Yeah, I know.
he's been dead for a while. Yeah, it's a little hard for that to occur. But he was in the 27 Club. not a musician, but artist. Yeah.
know.
So he did a whole lot of work by age 27.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I was amazed to find out how young he was and how much of an impact he had. Especially with everything else that was going on in the world, you had to have been a pretty substantial artist in that time frame.
Anyways, as you guys have been hearing us, yeah,
Debbie.
yeah, Debbie,
Yeah,
Debbie.
I can't. Some people are Deb. Some people are Debbie.
Well, I was in the artist way, and we had 3 Debbies,
oh, that's right.
and so this is Debbie.
She went to high school with Houlihan's son and daughter, so that's pretty fun.
Ooh.
I like that. But yeah, the mummy and the monkey are fun, and again, they're local, and they just do a great job of just. They totally give off the vibe in exactly the right way. I mean they just do the movie host, horror host. He gets the public domain stuff. The
Black and
from the
white.
black and white 50s hygiene tips and like showing the kids the safety tips on how to survive a bombing and it's just fascinating to see all that stuff. I about like hurt my that stuff.
And for all of us who have watched The Ghoul, or I think Goulardi, I think my older brothers are watching that.
Probably.
But if you've watched those programs or watched Superhost, although Superhost really didn't get in and overdub laughs and
No.
comments and stuff, he didn't do that. But
Still classic.
yeah, the others, I mean, it has that feel and very purposefully so. But the Mummy and the Monkey, they were named by, I think it was a kid. He just goes, "Hey, look, the Mummy and the Monkey," and it kind of stuck, and it has a kind of cool Eminem feel to it. It's a husband and wife team. They've got really good chemistry. The monkey's really, and he'll even say he's really not a monkey, he's an ape. He's kind of an Elvis ape, but he's in full moving mask. He pops popcorn in that ape mouth, and Janet is she's kind of a sexy mummy,
Exactly.
and she's fun to watch, and they play off each other well. So if you ever get bored and you click over, watch The Mummy and the Monkey, Cleveland Horror Show hosts.
John sent me a quick sketch that he tried.
John, you're drawing?
He is. That's really cool.
We got all kinds of people drawn in here. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us,
Yeah.
with our family.
Just under 10 minutes left, and then we'll have one more half-hour session. And it really is, I mean, we absolutely enjoy the community aspect of this and the opportunity to collaborate and combine our Tuesday at 7 community along with this already well-established artist community within the Cleveland Portrait Artists has been just an absolute pleasure for us. And we're really excited about new friends and new colleagues, for lack of a better word, within the artistic community and the opportunity, especially in Northeast Ohio. There's these small, really tight-knit groups that find each other, and you don't always get to meet the other artistic groups, whether it's the whole East Side, West Side, or Southwest suburbs or whatever it is, and this opportunity to take advantage of, hey, all right, we're stuck at home and we got to do this digitally, and now we get to expand, and so that when we're able to do things live again, we're already in a better place than we were before, and it's just a joy for us to get to just dive right in with all of you in this.
a few other things that we believe in, and that is that we believe in encouraging folks. We want to encourage folks to pick up a medium or pick up a pencil or pick up an airbrush and give it a try. We encourage people who have been doing it for many, many years. I think that an artist, a new artist, or a veteran artist who is recognized or acknowledged for their time and their effort and their skill is a better artist. And so that's something that both Beth and I believe in. But we also are huge fans of kind of increasing the size of the tribe in order to bring in some younger folks. So folks that are in their teens and maybe their 20s, I think it's our responsibility as artists to pass that on to newer artists. And so whether it's special effects makeup or portrait drawing or glass making, we encourage you folks to grab one of those prodigies or an apprentice or somebody who is just maybe in need of some encouragement themselves, and for somebody with some experience to kind of guide them. We hope that you guys are doing that as well. Robin Walters is on.
Hi, Robin.
You have some great
see
stage presence.
Oh my gosh.
We've been tuning into
voice.
Grace Church on Sundays as well. It's nice to see you up there singing.
Yep. She's an amazing worship leader and a beautiful voice. Oh my gosh. And she's Robin, or Kate, soon to be aunt-in-law.
Aunt-in-law.
Aunt-in-law. And they both share the trauma of being a Walters.
Caitlin's fiance Jake. Rowan's fiance Jake is the Walters family, and they are one that we love getting to know.
Yep.
Susan is calling it a night. Good night, Susan.
Right.
Pat, your falafel? What's your dog's name again? Your beautiful
Farfel?
Farfel.
Farfel?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have
It's
it
not.
open.
It's
I
not
don't have it
falafel.
open in
I know
front
it's
of
not
me.
falafel.
Yeah, but that would
Farfel.
be an amazing dog name. Maybe that's what our next dog's name will be.
Falafel.
I like that. That's fun.
We have to. Yeah.
Or hummus.
Anyways, yeah. Good night, Susan. We can't wait to see your work. Fortunately, if you have some finishing touches, you can click in tomorrow and get back into sitting 1 or sitting 2.
Yeah, these live streams will all be accessible on the Tuesday at 7 Facebook group, on Tim's Facebook page, on my Facebook page, and Roger's Facebook page. At some point, Roger will have uploaded these to YouTube as well. If you search TUES at symbol 7. Something I noticed last week, which we're going to figure out how to amend, is all of these videos are in the feed of the Tuesday at 7 Facebook page. But what I didn't realize is they're not in an album. I thought that they were just kind of showing on the Tuesday at 7 page, and you could just go to videos, and that these would all be already gathered there. So we're going to figure out how to do that so that you can just go to the Tuesday at 7 Facebook page, go into the album, and click on whichever video you want to watch.
You can do it that way. I think the easiest way to search is to go to YouTube.
Yes.
TUES at 7.
Yes.
They're all there. There's 50 or 60 70. I don't know how many videos.
And
There's a whole
it's
bunch out
got
there.
it's got the name of whoever it was.
We got the date.
Dates.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to find it that way.
That's the easiest way to search it. That's why we upload them to YouTube as well.
But I should probably still.
No, I mean, we've figured out if there's a capability of putting them in a video album, we'll do it.
Well, we'll go with whatever a younger, more intuitive person can help us do that.
But if you go in the search bar, on Facebook, there's a search bar up at the top. If you put TUES at 7 and then Pretentious or put a couple key words in it, it'll search it. It'll give it to you.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to search it, I think.
Lips are hard to draw.
We're coming close to the end of this session, so last couple lines here, or
Is this
last
number
couple
4?
colors. This is 3.
Oh, I lost track. We're still there.
Oh my goodness. She has this long blink. I look at it going, I think I'm frozen, just like the others have said. And I'm like, no, it's live. If people were in person, they think it was a wax. We're in a wax museum.
All right. That is the last 30. We have one more session after a 15-minute break.
I can hear people filling their wine glasses. Session 4 will begin in 15 minutes. You guys can be in 15 minutes is a long time. It's a perfect time to catch a break.
By the way, I do not have my own Hulu account. Jake and I use Abby's.
Oh.
Alright, I'm gonna sit down.
We use his younger sister.
We can ask Abby. I think I have multiple.
I don't know.
Probably
There's
not.
Abby, Jake, and then King. As far as I know, are on there. So
I can ask Callie if I can use her Hulu account.
that works.
Alright. I am
really
sitting
good.
here for the last break. We have the phone plugged in so we won't run out of juice. Last week we ran out of juice with 55 seconds left. But this week we're plugged in. Hey Beth, take a photo
Oh.
of like from over there.
I'm charging my phone. Is the problem?
You can't take a photo while charging your phone? Oh, because you're on the...
Yeah.
Oh, are you like almost dead? Is that it?
Yes.
I see. But if you could grab it from over there to see the layer of...
Oh yeah.
Anyway, it's kind of funny to see the setup. It is
I know.
strange to see us. We have a ring light, which you guys probably notice when folks have the glasses and they kind of turn the right way. We have a chair. We're just here in the foyer of our house. If you've watched the Tuesday 7 interviews, then you probably have seen that we have interviewed from 7 different spots in our house. I've done a demo out on the front porch here. We've had a whole lot of fun. And the Tuesday 7 interviews, we often interview in other people's studios as well. And But
yeah, we went to Manly Pad when we interviewed Tim.
oh yeah, that manly pad is
Fun. Everybody loved that.
it's manly,
It is.
and it's a phenomenal place, Tim. By the way, not only is there artwork like wall to wall down in the studio, but there is incredible artwork that Tim shared with us. Yeah, up in his house too. That's an amazing place.
Yeah, I mean, you can't turn a corner in his house without seeing something I'd love to have on our walls. I mean,
Amazing
he has
artwork.
Just beautiful artwork from so many different artists.
We would love to hear what mediums you folks work with. We know that many people are either beginning their portrait drawing journey, or they have been doing portraits for quite some time. But what other mediums do you work with? Because I'm always interested to find out what people specialize in. I'm watching these two over here look at photos, progress photos, and such. But yeah, I'm interested in hearing what other mediums you work in. We're always looking to interview great people with unique skills as well. It is about 9:35. We're about 5 minutes into our
Break.
draw break.
Yep. Rowan's stretching. And we'll start again at 9:45 for
Mhm.
another 30 minutes, and then everybody can go off into what is hopefully going to be a mild, sunny
Weekend.
weekend, and we can all get some fresh air and clean our yards and
You spoke it into the universe. Now it's going to rain all weekend.
doesn't work like that.
People are going to have amazing looking yards.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Oh,
most
we've never
manicured.
we've never had our sidewalks edged at this nice.
It's
We're all going to be
true.
stuck in here at least for probably the months of May and maybe beginning of June as we're easing
It's
out into the
true.
world.
And the spring cleaning, I'm sure, is happening like, no, this, I think my spring cleaning is so, I'm just so used to doing it. There's way too many bodies in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to just taking up like the entire upstairs and throwing the attic out into the hallway and then putting it back into the
Yeah,
attic.
but-
And there's too many people. Does he need to go outside?
I don't know, but he's looking over here like, I'm going to walk and say hey. But
You wanna hold him?
yeah, you put him here.
We need to spring clean the dog.
Oh, you know what? Show us
Smells bad.
the Bowie artwork.
Oh.
Because a few weeks ago, again, these family members of ours are so social. They just like to be held. Bowie is a silver poodle. He's not quite 6 pounds. I think it officially makes him a toy. He loves to be part of the action. And while I was sitting here a few weeks ago, somebody grabbed
Larry Zuzek.
Larry Zuzek. Or Zuzic? Zuzik?
I think it's Zuzek.
Zuzik.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Larry shared with us. Is that okay? Was
Can you
that
see
him?
it? Yeah.
Shared with us an original piece of artwork with Bowie, and he captured this guy.
Sure did. Our whole family is thrilled at having original Bowie artwork. I don't
It would
know
definitely
how
go up
the
on a wall.
delay works.
It just showed up on my screen over.
Yeah.
So thank you, Larry. Everybody in the family just loved it.
Yeah.
I may have to get prints made for all of us.
This guy is an old dog, by the way. He's a toy poodle, and he's 16 years old. And he doesn't see really well. He doesn't hear really well, but he likes to be held, and he's still getting around. And so we hope we have him for as long as he can be healthy. And we love the fact that people are sharing pictures of their furry loved ones. Billy Butcher. I don't know if he's still on.
I don't know.
If he is, show us a picture of your furry animals, Billy. He has guinea pigs.
That's right.
Remember his
I
guinea pigs? And it's like a family of guinea pigs. Like he has,
They're very social. You have to have a bunch of guinea
They're-
pigs together.
and and like they sit with him when he's having coffee in the morning. He's like, oh, so here's
Aww.
this guy is having coffee with me.
I love that.
We liked having guinea pigs.
Minus the fact that I'm super allergic to
Well, yeah, we found that out after the guinea pigs.
It's a
That
little late. Rabbits can be
Caitlin, yeah, and we also realized that rescuing a Yorkie while having guinea pigs was not a good plan. So, but we did enjoy the guinea pigs while we had them.
I don't see. How can you tell who's on? When I'm on my laptop, I can't see. Like I can see how many are watching, but I can't see.
Can't see who's
who
watching.
is.
I don't think it tells us who's watching. I mean, I'm sure there's a way you can click in and
Oh,
get to it, and it just tells us how many are actively watching.
Gotcha.
Next week, I'm sure we'll still be on lockdown. We'll have a different face for you. And we are really just happy that you guys have kind of brought us in and allowed us to join your creative group for a few weeks here. And it's been fun. Beth is taking a portrait drawing for the first time. I haven't done it for years, but I'm getting back into it.
Yeah, it took you all of 30 seconds to get back into it.
Well, if I didn't have a haptic kind of throw it out there kind of style, it probably would have taken longer. But
Mrs. Consiglio just jumped on.
Oh, hi Leah. Our neighbor jumped on. So you caught us in our neighbors on
all right, kid, I'm
here,
gonna switch back
and
with you.
So
We got a
we're
few minutes and
wrapping
then we'll
up
kinda-
our last break, and then we're gonna have another half-hour session of. So Rowan is our model, and we are working Roger's Tuesday at 7 live streams in collaboration with the Cleveland portrait artists who have been gathering together and doing portraits with a live model for the last 15 years. And during this quarantine, stay at home, lockdown, whatever, we're doing this digitally to help them not miss a beat in their portraits sessions, and to get together and create community and just kind of enjoy our time together. And then again, we will be live streaming Tuesday at 7 o'clock. It will not be portrait artwork. It will be an interview. Hopefully, I believe it's a catch-up interview for one of our first artists, like, you know, where are they at now? Neil Zaza we did last week because he was Roger's first interview, and so Roger wanted to check in with what Neil was doing, so we did an interview with him and then did a watch party for his first interview. I'm assuming we're doing the same thing for someone next week. And then, I don't know if we have any more sneak peeks that Roger wants to give. Right after this, we'll be jumping on to watch The Mummy and the Monkey
I think they're going.
online.
I should probably check.
Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know if they are broadcasting tonight. I think that may. Yeah. If they're not broadcasting
I'll open up Facebook
tonight,
again and I'll let you know.
yeah, if they're not broadcasting tonight, you can look up past episodes, I would assume. And,
I wonder how many times they get open on Facebook.
come?
So I have Facebook open 3 times. My same.
Oh.
I have it open
wow.
on my phone. I have it open here. I've opened up a second time to search again. I said, I wonder how many times you could open up your account.
I guess we'll find out. All right, yo, you want to get Lon back up? This last half hour was my struggle. Like I went 15 minutes, and then the last 15 minutes like stretched on. It's like the when it's 2:55 and school lets out at 3.
Oh, yeah.
I struggled with that one.
It's like me the last like 2 hours of my shift every time I'm closing.
Yes, exactly. All right, get you double check this. Man, it's amazing what a lag there is.
It appears that they're on tonight.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Down to Friday, DTF is what they say.
Cool. You're good.
Anyway.
Man, you're like, I think you're in exactly the right place. Tim, let us know if she needs to move at all, but it looks,
I think you might be there.
yeah, she looks like right where she needs to be, but let us know. Yeah, Kara, the Mummy and the Monkey is an online horror movie host, kind of in the genre of Big Chuck and Little John or Ghoulardi, super host, and they show indie movies, they show public domain movies, and they just do sketches and have all sorts of fun with it. They're on Facebook. You access them on Facebook?
If you go to Facebook and just look up The Mummy and the Monkey.
Yeah.
Just write it out.
Right on Facebook, Mummy and the Monkey.
Oh, so if you're, so they're gonna go live at 10 o'clock. We'll be finishing up about 10:15. But the Janet, Janet and James, who are the husband and wife team, who are the Mummy and the Monkey, she writes, "Hey freaks and geeks, hope you are all safe and cozy." She's feeling better and helping Grim host another episode of the Mummy and the Monkey,
Yay.
their hairy, scary hangout tonight.
Good.
They'll have a new Stasha and Yashu comedy skit, as well as a retro crap classic, Invasion of the Bee-Girls, and fun added effects that have never been seen. So you guys can transition from portrait drawing over to the Mummy and the Monkey, and you can put your finishing touches on. They're silly. They do shots on their program. They eat popcorn. They have fun. They then, after their movie's over with, they move over to YouTube for Hangover, is what they call it. The Hangover.
Yes.
The Mummy and the Monkey Hangover.
The follow-up after-hours show kind of thing. So, Tim Heron's email address, did I do that right? manlypad@sbcglobal.net.
Yes.
Okay. But I think Manly Man is also very good. But it's Manly Pad because that's what his studio was called for years, and he's got a big sign up over the door of his house, and it is pretty manly, I will say.
And for you who are on Tuesday at 7 and saw I posted a couple photos, Tim Heron is a manly man.
Oh yes,
He had his arms crossed there, looked like a superhero.
he did. He is very manly.
So the reason why you're seeing the email address for Tim Heron is you could private message your work over to Tim, but it's always nice to send it via email because I think you can do a higher resolution image, and he copies it down to put it in the Pretentious Cleveland Portrait Artists Archives. So your work will be there for many generations to come. Also, the folks in the portrait artist group, they all know that they were on Idea Stream. But if you look up on Google, look up the Pretentious Cleveland Portrait Artist on Google, you'll actually be able to look at the Idea Stream episode where they were. It's kind of an interview and
Oh yeah,
nice
I forgot
piece
about
there.
that.
It's a great piece. So you can check out what it looks like when all those artists gather. I'd imagine that if you were to add up all the talent in one of those live sittings, it's probably like 500 years. There's a lot that sits down
Oh,
live.
yeah.
And if you take a look at probably the 50 artists that are drawing, painting here, there's a whole lot of talent to share from.
I got Nina Yeager posted. It was her first time doing this. Tuesday at 7 page. It's really nice. Thank you very much. Make sure I'm saving it correctly. She really got her. Looks good.
If you guys are noticing, there's like a pause right now. Just it'll auto correct itself here.
How did the video get?
I just kind of did a pause on us. I don't know what it is. I don't think Facebook is. I don't think they've got as high resolution and in high def as
Oh, that would
the
make
other
sense.
streaming.
And
platforms.
since we're doing it for over 2 hours, I would say perhaps that might have something to do with it too.
I don't know. I can't see where I'm typing. Could you type?
It is a little
Mine's cut off. I can't see it at all. Can you type the mummy and the monkey?
I have to get back to it, yeah.
Facebook
hang on one
page.
sec.
There's a few folks that just want to make sure that they hear that. It's good to have in the background. Those guys are fun.
Oh yeah.
And they're part of the Tuesday 7 community too. And so if you guys ever are looking to make connections with them, they're
Oh yeah. Well, and you
Westsiders. They're
you
awesome.
can go to YouTube and watch the interview with them, and yeah, they live 3 minutes away from my brother over on the west side, which was a pleasant surprise. Oh, Nancy Akins is getting cool with her digital stuff again.
I think she's in her 20s. Nancy.
Cool stuff. I have to say that getting to have all this artwork of our daughter is not the worst thing ever.
Ooh.
That's,
That's
see? Isn't that cool?
Your artwork is phenomenal.
I know. It's
Thank
so
you for sharing it.
exciting.
The cool part about it is, although we'll be saving this video for you to review over the next 48 hours, like all weekend long, you're going to see artwork go up. You're going to see people commenting on the artwork. And so this thing just doesn't end here at 10:15 on a Friday night. It's going to continue for the next several days as people post their work and go back and recreate. There's folks that are working right now. I know we've got friends that are in the healthcare industry that are nurses, and they're not going to be able to sign in until tomorrow or Sunday, so they'll join us and post work. And so even though this is live, we're going to have a whole bunch of people who are going to join in the next 48, 72 hours and contribute their artwork as well.
We are at 21 minutes left in this last session, and it's a great way to spend a Friday night. And this is fun, and it'll be fun to get to do it in person. Hopefully I'll be able to kind of keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so by the time we are meeting in person, I'll be a little bit larger of a piece, so they're not all just wee tiny little sketches.
Hey, if you can catch it small, you can translate that to large. I'm interested, portrait artists, if anybody has ever brought an airbrush.
Oh yeah, I remember you were thinking about that.
Because,
It would be really loud though, with the compressor going while.
oh, the Mummy and the Monkey just went live. I just saw them pop up here, and so I'm not telling you to sign off. I'm saying to stick with us, and then to sign on to them after. There, and he's in his
Full
Elvis ape look, and she's in her bandages. From time to time, you'll enjoy Janet's humor. She goes like, "Oh my gauze." A fun transition over. Oh, but the reason I asked about the airbrush is we can have some airbrush artists go down there and airbrush t-shirts and hand their model the t-shirt.
Oh, that would be cool. But truly,
Is that too noisy?
are there any air compressors that are quiet enough for that? I mean, yeah, because like tattoo artists, you don't want to be tattooing.
We could
something
bring a
up there
tattoo
or in the
machine
background.
down there and tattoo somebody right on. Tattoo our
That's
model's
a
face right
challenge.
on my.
Yeah. You know what they say?
I've got virgin
guess-
skin, so nobody's tattooing me.
No, I guess it would be better to have a complete stranger's face tattooed on your back than your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend, because you wouldn't have the same emotional regret. You would just have general regrets.
I'm gonna tattoo Tim Herron right here. Tim, I'm hitting my
At your shoulder.
my shoulder.
That wasn't your butt cheek.
That wasn't my butt cheek.
You could put Tim's face on one shoulder and the manly pad on
And the
the
manly
other
pad on the
shoulder.
other. I want that manly pose with him crossing his arms.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, tell Matt Seal, and he can bring his thing, and he can tattoo you while you sketch the artist at the thing.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
So we're down to just under 18 minutes. I know that everyone is kind of finishing up. Again, this is all going to be accessible. You can jump on the Tuesday at 7 group, my Facebook page, Roger's Facebook page, and then eventually this will be up on YouTube so that you can get back to this video and see Rowan live, sort of live, and finish your artwork in whatever time you feel necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Fill in those details, get those little stars on her shirt.
And for the most part, you could forward that to somebody and maybe inspire them to take a shot at drawing themselves.
Yeah.
Because even though they're not watching live, it's going to feel live.
Yep. That's the truth.
And they're going to hear some pointers. So we talked about lighter lights and darker darks, variation of line. We talked that if you were to look at somebody straight on, the eyes are one eye apart, or the width of one eye apart. We talked about the eyes are about halfway down. Nobody's corrected me, so I think I got that about right.
That's true.
About halfway down. In the middle of the face, from the bottom of the chin to the top of the head. I asked Luke, I said, take off your hat, let me look at your face, and the eyes are about halfway.
Oh, okay.
Because his hair is
So
short.
we're-
He doesn't have a beard that's hiding his chin, or
That's good to know.
doesn't have a lot of hair on top of his head. Obviously, if the glasses fit the ear,
John Skabnicki says, "Oh my God, I just saw her blink." I had no idea. I know this is like a learning curve for me too, because she certainly wasn't the most hyperactive of our children. But if I had known she was going to be able to sit this still, I probably wouldn't have. Not that I thought she was going to be squirming or anything, but.
rumor has it her heartbeat is beating 6
Sorry.
times a minute.
She said not to make her laugh while we were doing this, so we're not being very fair right now. But yes, I think we were all very impressed with her skills here. I didn't doubt it, but she's
She's still.
great, more than.
I sat still, but I was blinking every 3 seconds.
Yeah,
You guys can
you
go
were
back to
having-
YouTube and look.
You were having blanking issues. All right, well, stop making me laugh now. Lips are really hard. You know, Tim's gonna be mad because we're making her laugh while he's trying to finish up.
We're gonna get fired.
Those dang Millers.
First of all, yeah. It's like, I'm not taking this seriously. Making jokes.
Messing with the mojo. Are there any other
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about the pointers.
oh yeah.
And that obviously, if the glasses are going to hang on your ears and then they kind of line up with your eyes,
Yep.
most cases, but we are hoping that each week as we build a few pointers into that folks will share a pointer
Yeah.
or so here in the comments so that we can have this running list. And so we'll add your comments each week so that as new portrait artists are joining us, that we can talk through these. And so darker darks, lighter lights, variation of line. We talked about the position of the eyes being one eye apart. We talked about the position of the eyes from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin. We talked about the position of the ears relative to the eyes. And so there's going to be some other cheats that you folks can help us with, even if it's just a little trick or something you heard from a teacher at one point. We'd appreciate those additions of those of your wisdom
Yeah, please.
to this community. Beth, you're drawing with an ebony pencil too.
Is it charcoal? Is ebony also
I
charcoal?
think it's a charcoal, but
Is
it's
it?
not a real soft one. I mean, you'll see, like, if you look at the bottom of your hand, that you're probably
No, I knew it's not like
Yeah.
the like hardcore base charcoal, but I didn't know if, you know, so this is a Prismacolor ebony. Is that technically a charcoal?
I don't know. I mean,
Or-
if I said yes, I'd be correct. It says,
it doesn't say it on it, it just says jet black, extra smooth.
you know the reason why I use this? Because it's really good for getting a lot of line down. It has a nice soft feel, but it also goes pretty dark, so you can really push dark with an ebony.
Oh yeah.
But what I also like about it is I draw so big. My drawing board is there. When I use charcoal, all that charcoal rains
All over
down
the
on me.
place. Oh.
And when I use softer charcoal, and it's fine. I mean, I use
But it's
My-
a mess.
yeah. I mean, I had some folks like say you burn a stick and bring it to class, and you have to like create your own color. We talked to Dot Schneider who creates her own paints, and so
Oh yeah.
the raining properties of regular charcoal is the reason why I usually go with ebony, and of course, if I'm really feeling confident or haptic or whatever, I just grab a Sharpie. I just draw a Sharpie
From the get go or
sometimes.
after?
Like
Which
that.
you're totally capable of doing. I mean, I've seen you.
Or I'll grab a just an ink pen, like that quick drawing I did for you several years ago. I just grabbed an ink pen, and you can see all my wrong lines in that one, but I just went with it. That one over there in the
There
wall.
weren't very many wrong.
There's a bunch of wrong lines. It works because I left them. I couldn't erase them. They were ink.
Just about 10 minutes. It's gonna be the longest 10 minutes of her week. And the artwork that's being posted is as normal, absolutely stunning.
The fact we still have 21 people live
Yeah.
is
I
amazing.
know, I love it. Absolutely.
If we were all
love
sitting
it.
in one room right now, this is like more than an art class.
Yeah. It's true. And we can talk without getting into trouble.
Yeah, because we're not getting corrected.
I feel like if we talk this much, Tim, in person, Tim probably would not be as amused. Although I think he said he was going to turn the
Sound off.
sound off and he might work with music this week. Because he said the last couple weeks he'd been kind of listening to us patter, but I think this week he was going to get back into having music in the background. So I don't know.
What's kind of cool is my high school art teacher, and I graduated in the mid 80s from high school. I graduated from Kent in the later 80s, and but my art teacher sometimes joins in, and some of these pointers that I pass on, they're not my pointers, they're pointers that I was taught, and some of those came from her, and so it's kind of trying to pass forward those the advice of people who've gone before us, and so
Yeah.
that's the reason why I think Beth and I are on the same page of how can we pass that information on to newer artists or to young artists. I think it's our responsibility to do that.
And sometimes, I mean, it's fascinating how just the smallest, seemingly straightforward, simple thing can push you up to the next level. It's just one of those moments where something just clicks and someone will say something or suggest something, and that's the shift you needed to say, oh, doing it like that is exactly what I needed to create that look and that feeling and that movement in my drawing or my painting or my sculpture, and that type of thing. Just when that and it's not just with drawing. I mean, that's the case with music or glass, or I mean pretty much anything. Sports even, you get the right suggestion or the right tip, and it changes the game or the art or whatever for you, ups your skill level.
Yeah, I think a good coach, and then having somebody who's willing to do the reps.
Yeah.
Which is to just do it over and over and over. And the portrait artists have been getting together for 14 years.
That's a long time. That's a lot of reps.
Yeah.
It's a lot of practice.
And
a
if
lot
you're
of
drawing-
devotion and focus.
If you're drawing 50 times a year. And you've been with it since the beginning. You sat for 700 plus.
Yeah. It's a lot of faces.
Yeah, you sat down and drew a whole lot of faces, and there's people out there that have received your work. And if you go to the Tim's Facebook page or the website, you get to see that whole history.
Yep.
And people's journey and their improvements as artists during that time too. So.
Yeah.
Or their style
emerging.
change. Yeah, I mean, if somebody took a look at my stuff over, my signature changes.
Yeah, your signature has changed just, I don't even know how many times just since we've been married. Your signature has changed a ton of times. So.
There's a reason for that.
What is that reason?
That reason is so I can look back and I know that my signature right now, which is kind of like an M with a circle, at the bottom of the circle is like an I. It's kind of like Miller, but with a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I put the year in there, sometimes I don't. But that has been kind of my stamp or my mark for the last 3-ish years. And so it's going to define about a 5-year period, and then I'll shift it.
Again.
And so folks will be able to say, oh, I've got this M-ish with a circle and a dot. And if I don't put, it's a 5-year period. And so it'll evolve.
Your circle period.
There's my circle, yeah.
I like it instead of a blue period. That's smart. Makes sense.
And so it'll evolve to something else in a few years. And you've never asked me that question, nor did you ask me tonight. I just offered it.
I generally don't have to ask it. Eventually it's offered. You have 5 minutes. Tim says you're doing a fabulous job. Actually, he said great job, but because I'm me, I said fabulous instead.
You know what's kind of funny is we haven't spent much time with the participants, but we're starting to starting to learn a little bit about the personalities just from their comments and their artwork and their creations. You learn about people from afar and by looking at their work.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for posting your, a lot of people are posting their artwork on the Tuesday at 7 group. You can also email Tim Heron at manlypad@sbcglobal.net. We just absolutely love seeing the artwork that is coming out of this. I know Rowan's going to be just over the moon at having all of this original. Oh, Steve did a silver point. Very cool. Steve Sens.
Oh,
He's the one that does the silver point. That's really cool, Steve. Thank you. And Janet did something on the iPad. I know some of this is in process, and so we may see a slightly different piece that's finished, uploaded later, or maybe emailed to Tim. But we absolutely love seeing the in-process work too. This silver point is gorgeous.
We may, at some point, I'm thinking out loud, that's why I'm saying may with purpose, perhaps after we kind of get through our lockdown and we have and we can celebrate thousands of posts and pictures, we may combine all of the photos into a much like Tim does. We may just put them into a common post.
Mm-hmm.
And if we put them into a common post, and after we can test it and find out that we're successful, we might pull down all the individual pictures so that folks can see them all together. Thinking out loud. Because it would be really difficult. I mean, if somebody's like, oh, I want to see Olga's work, they'd have to scroll like down 30 photos to see Olga's, whereas they're like, well, what about Tim's work, or what about...
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out, because Tim does have it all by artist. He does a
And
great job
maybe
with
we
that.
could just share his over.
Yeah, maybe we should be able to do that. Just share the album.
Just share that whole album. We want to make sure that we don't lose anything.
Yeah.
We're not going to delete anybody's work if it's only posted here.
Mm-mm.
But we'll go back so that we can
Yes.
we can organize this a little bit better.
Tim really has been meticulous.
And that's a lot of Tim. That's a lot of work that you do,
Sure is.
and your team there. We're down to like 2 minutes ish,
yeah.
and so as we're winding down, because we're gonna let you guys get back to your Friday nights. For those who want to click over to the Mummy and the Monkey, we encourage you to do that as well. That's what I'm doing. We want to say thank you for allowing us to run alongside your really kind of genius art group for the last 3 weeks. We may run alongside you for another few weeks, but we're blessed to have you guys as friends and to really have some great work.
Hi, Tim. Hello.
Beth is.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Huh. That's. Yeah.
As we're winding up here, I know that Beth is on the phone with Tim here
Gotcha.
live,
No, I found it.
and but we're kind of
Thank you.
winding
I'm
up
so
here.
glad. We'll be doing just kind of like the last minute or so on the leg, but I'm.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up, we're down to the last minute here. We thank you guys for joining. If you want to join the Tuesday at 7 group, we approve everybody who requests that membership there. We will continue to do this for Fridays as long as we're on lockdown, and put a fresh face in front of you. And Tim just got off the phone, and so we wanna say thank you for spending your time with us. And Rowan, you can go ahead and see she is alive. And guys, we want to say good night. Have a great weekend. Please post your work, instant message, or send it to Tim Herron, Herron, or email it in a higher resolution to manlypad, MANLYPAD at sbcglobal.net. And if we don't see you before, maybe we'll be in front of you and look for your comments and this Tuesday at 7 o'clock, or perhaps next Friday at 7:30 for the next line of portraits. Guys, have a great evening, and we'll talk soon. Oh, Mummy and the Monkey, see ya.